I hope you're ready with your bullshit skills tonight, bestie.
Always. I
Love
also
it.
have a thing.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, if that's the case, we can jump right in because I love when you have a thing.
It's a very stupid thing.
And? Is this
Yeah,
not a
I'm
very
just
stupid
no.
podcast?
Yeah, no, I'm just letting you know that it's not like, a really thought-provoking type question.
Whatever.
Um,
It doesn't need to be.
Yes.
Hit me with it.
Oh, right now?
Why not?
It's like a question. Don't you want to do the top of the pod things first?
Yeah, you know what? If it's that, then let's do it.
Yeah.
I would like to begin this week with two corrections. One, Lily Gladstone is not the first ever Indigenous woman to be nominated for an Oscar. That would be Yalitza Aparicio, who was in Roma. Um, I believe that might make Lily Gladstone the first quote unquote American Indian woman to be
Mm.
nominated for an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
I will link my source in the description. But yeah, issuing a correction there. And
Yep.
I would like to rescind my previous statements I've made on this podcast regarding the Insane Clown Posse.
Hmm.
I said that I respected them because they had a shirt of one of their insane clowns burning a Confederate flag, and I thought that was very cash money of them. It turns out that one of the guys in that band, despite that band having a song about killing pedophiles, was in fact texting underage girls.
Oh, no. I mean, not that I'm a fan of theirs, but still.
So I no longer respect the Insane Clown Posse. Thank you for your time.
Ugh. I mean, not surprising.
It's not, but at the same time, you feel like maybe eventually we would run out of people.
People who are pedophiles?
Just like that we would run out of famous people to turn out that it turns out are shitty.
Yeah, I think there's a large portion of society that is shitty in that way, but most of them live private lives, whereas when you're a public figure, your
Yeah.
shittiness is on display.
So yeah, I thought
So
the sort of putting out an anti-white supremacy shirt was pretty a-okay, but I would like to rescind my statement about respecting them. Thank you.
everybody is a complicated mix of contradictions, right? Everybody everybody's a bit of a mixed bag, right? Good and bad qualities. Now, some people have worse bad qualities than
Yeah,
others.
yeah.
Like my bad quality, yeah, I'm often late, but nowhere near that level.
I'll take that
Of,
over many
yeah.
other things. um, but yeah, so those are my two updates,
Mhm.
corrections, etc. This is more of an update in my personal life. Got the other Sleep Token sweatshirt on today. Um, this wasn't necessarily planned, but it's relevant because I'm bringing up the fact that my Sleep Token ticket saga continues. I got refunded for the fraudulent charge to my PayPal account, which is great. Um, and I thought that I had managed to find uh, two tickets to the pit in Boston for, yeah, marked up. We live in a horrible world of scalpers and Ticketmaster monopolies, but not as insane as I've seen. It was
Mhm.
like 100, like 175 after tax or something per ticket. I was like, okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. There's people paying like $400 for one ticket right now. I'll take what I can get.
Mhm.
But a statement just went out that Sleep Token is going to be canceling tickets purchased like by that were snapped up by like bots and scalpers, which is great, but I don't know what that means for the tickets that I bought because apparently they are not transferable like from the original
Mhm.
buyer. So if you listed them on like StubHub,
Mhm.
you cannot transfer them to the person that purchased them. So, I don't know. And like massive props to Sleep Token for like trying to crack down on like the bot and scalper issue. Like hell yes, but what does that mean?
Yeah, that seems like a thing you need to figure out how to prevent in advance.
That's the thing. I love that they're doing it. It's fantastic, but it was only ever announced via the website for Sleep Token's record label, not Sleep Token,
Mm-hmm.
and in the Sleep Token and in a Discord server, which I am
Hmm.
not in and I did not even know existed.
Hmm.
So like maybe tell me beforehand.
Yeah.
Currently I'm holding on to the ones that we quote unquote have cuz I got it on SeatGeek and it's returnable up until like 4 days before the concert. So like I have time to get this sorted because the show is in May. But
Yeah.
like bro. So yeah, essentially my saga with that continues. My plan right now is to just hold on to the confirmation email that I do have that's like you did indeed purchase these if nothing else, and then hopefully I can snag when they do their like when they like put things back up on like the Ticketmaster resale because they can what they're doing is you can only resell them for the price you bought them, which is great because there's no incentive for scalpers to buy up as many tickets as they can and then sell them at a profit. That is genuinely fantastic. I think more artists should be doing that. So I'm hoping when that resale goes live, I can get two of the same for like the actual just flat rate to begin with and then return the SeatGeek order. But yeah,
You're just not having a good time with it.
no, I'm not.
Bad luck.
I am suffering. But again, I know it is not the fault of the band, it is the fault of the giant fucking monopoly.
Yeah.
So,
Plus, the jerks who buy up all the tickets to make money off of them.
yeah,
Not cool.
very not cool. So, yeah, those are my updates, corrections, and recensions.
Okay.
Um, what was your thing? I'm so curious to know.
Oh no, it's not like a thing I wanna. It's an opinion that I don't know if it will really spark much discussion.
Okay,
That I was just thinking about the other
I'm
day.
interested regardless.
I think that combined foods are better than separate foods.
Explain.
So, for example, like a casserole is better than having a plate that has like separate meat, potatoes, vegetables. It's better if you take all those things and combine them.
I think in a lot of instances you are correct. Not every single one. Because, like, I agree with your kind of like your meat, potatoes, vegetable being combined. Like, I love a fucking shepherd's pie.
Pot pie is one of my favorite things.
Like, that shit is so good. And I absolutely agree there. It is so much better to have that than just have, like, mashed potatoes, some form of beef, and then vegetables. I would much rather just smash it all together. Very much here for that. Like, I don't know, some things I don't think should touch. Like any food that kind of has like like how when you steam vegetables and then you put them on a plate, there's kind of like some water happening.
hmm
Like I don't think things that are supposed to remain like crispy, like fries for example, should touch that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, fries aren't something you usually put in a thing.
Point
Sometimes.
taken. Well, poutine, but point taken.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm talking just generally, like if you were given two food options, and it doesn't have to be like the same food elements, right? Like if you were given a choice between um like a casserole that has like rice and a bunch of things, or oh, we also have this thing where you can get a piece of chicken and then some rice and then like some green beans or whatever.
I mean,
Like
whenever
the combined one's always going to be better.
um, when I still lived with my parents, whenever we would do like white people taco night,
Hmm.
I would always just combine it all into like taco salad on my plate anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
So,
think like it upsets me. I don't know why when people are like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have dinner. We're just gonna have like chicken breasts with a side salad." I'm like, who just wants a chunk of meat on their like? I know that's a thing people like and people do. I just don't understand it. Like, chop that chicken up, throw it in with some pasta, some
oh,
veggies.
actually, I here's the thing. I think under most circumstances, you're right. Like, yes, put things together, but I because I live alone, I really don't eat like meat all that often. I just
Because
like
you don't
don't.
like.
I don't like to touch raw meat, and also I just like the effort of cooking it for just myself
Mm-hmm.
feels kind of pointless, especially like quote unquote fancier things like steak, for example. Like, why? Why would I do that? But when I went to stay over at my parents' house around on Christmas Eve, for the Christmas Eve party, my mom always does this absolutely delicious, like, beef tenderloin type thing with like a red wine sauce. It's delightful. And she sent me home with some leftovers, which was very nice. And I distinctly remember when I heated up those leftovers like a day or two later and I like just had like this, big hunk of red meat on my plate. Something about this just unlocks like my inner like absolutely feral carnivore. And maybe this is kind of gross, but I just sort of sit there and I'm like, I'm eating it, I'm enjoying it, and my brain just is like on a loop, just like, flesh, like some sort of very pleased werewolf.
I do not get that at
Yeah, I
all.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it because I actually roasted a pork loin the other day.
Ooh, nice. My mom
Because you
does
can,
such a good like stuffed pork tenderloin. God, it's fucking delicious. Anyway,
yeah, like at Wegmans, they have like pre-marinated
oh,
pork
I miss
tenderloin.
Wegmans.
Yeah. So I got this rosemary balsamic pork tenderloin. And I know you say it's a lot of effort, but basically all you do is put it in a roasting pan, put it in the oven, and wait. So,
See, that's the thing. Like the pre-marinated, like,
yeah.
yeah, okay, I'm here for that.
Yep. Yeah, I have like pre-marinated chicken breasts in there, which I'm gonna probably put in like a salad or something.
Nice.
But like when I actually the day I roasted the pork tenderloin, I was very busy and didn't have time to like cut it up to put it over like rice or whatever I normally would.
Mm-hmm.
So I just cut it into the chunks of like, this is like 5 days worth of pork loin. I'll cut it into 5 pieces.
Yeah.
Um, and so then when I went to actually eat it, I didn't feel like cutting it up, and I just stared at it like this hunk of meat on my plate, and I'm like, this is so unappetizing to me, and I don't know what it is. Like,
Hmm.
I just stabbed it with a fork because I
I
was
love
feeling
that for you.
silly.
I mean, have we not all been there mentally? I would argue yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in a lot of circumstances I would say combined foods generally are superior. It's only when you start like mixing textures that don't mesh well that I'm going to start having a problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about just combining any foods. I'm talking about foods that are generally combined are
Yes.
better than foods that are generally separate.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to say hard agree.
Yeah. Especially because, like, when you do the combined foods, you also usually get to, like, add in sauce and stuff like that, which just, like, really
Mm,
ups it a level, you know?
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I could have these separate, like, potatoes and whatever meat, or I could throw them all in a bowl, drizzle some, like, tasty sauce on there. So much better.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to say hard agree.
It's one of those things that's like, it's a hill I will die on. And I think it's partially because I'm not a big meat eater. Like, I eat it because, protein, but it's not like my thing. And in order for me to, I don't want to say tolerate it, but consume it without a slight bit of disgust, is to have
Fascinating.
it in smaller pieces mixed with things.
Yeah, it's more of like an effort of cooking thing again. Like I truly do enjoy like yeah, it's not that often, but like when it does happen, god, I truly do enjoy a steak.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, we can get you into some of the meat alternative options. Like I have a bunch of seitan in my fridge. I got Italian seitan and Chipotle seitan.
But like, is it the same?
I mean, it's not the same, but it's delicious.
No, and that's
That's
my thing. It's not that I'm like afraid it won't like taste good or whatever. It's again, it's an occasional thing, but when I do have it, like God, really enjoy it.
well, I'm just saying, but you don't usually make meat at home because of the effort and because touching raw meat. But if you use meat alternatives, there's no touching raw meat
This is
and you
true.
get protein. I
Ooh, my
think
camera is yelling at me. Please keep speaking.
I think the main reason that people who don't like meat alternatives don't like them is because they expect them to be just like meat, and they're not. Like even like the Beyond Beef or whatever, it's not exactly like eating beef. Sure, I mean it's not. It's because it's not.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
just try to appreciate it for what it is, it's good. You
I think
know.
people do absolutely expect too much of the average kind of meat alternative.
Hmm.
But again, on the one hand, I get it. Like, yeah, um I have haha, I have no beef with the taste of a lot of like, your like impossible chicken nuggets or whatever. But like, God, nothing like surpasses or like is as good as, in my opinion, like a nice fucking filet mignon.
I mean, it's not my thing, but I'm also not saying replace all meat.
Yeah.
I'm just saying as like an everyday thing, it's kind of nice because I also don't like touching raw meat. I do it and then I wash my hands just like crazily. But when I make like seitan or tofu, I don't have to worry about that.
Remembering that time that my mom told me to like, and I know we've been over this, how you like you don't actually have to wash off the chicken or whatever. My mom told me to do it. I was in high school.
Yeah.
But I'm remembering the time that my mom told me to wash off the chicken and I didn't want to touch it, so I just waited for my ex-boyfriend to come over and made him do it.
Nice. That's what they're for.
Essentially.
Actually, we sort of was that just last week? We sort of talked about that. Was that no 2 weeks ago? The video with the woman asking her boyfriend to peel the orange.
Yes. So at least he did that.
Yeah, so it's nice. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel very strongly about it because I've just never been a big meat person. Like I could never give it up entirely because I like a good burger too much.
That's my
But
thing. Like, yes, I understand. And here's the thing. Like, 99% of the problems with, like, the environmental problems with, like, meat consumption are from factory farming, not just because a person is eating meat, like, at all.
yeah,
So, like, I am so here for, like, lessening meat consumption, like, doing away with factory farming. But there are some things where I'm just like, I want to enjoy this life.
yeah.
And if like the occasional like burger is part of that,
Hmm.
then the world is just gonna have to deal.
Yeah. I think it's more that people should be reducing maybe the amount
Yeah, I would say
for
hard agree.
yeah. I always have tofu and seitan and different stuff like that in my fridge. But I eat a lot of chicken breasts too because it's a lean protein and
Yeah,
it's, easy. You can tell I'm real thrilled about it. I
the
love it.
struggle.
I also have a lot of chickpeas and black beans.
Oh, I
And
fucking hate chickpeas.
I know when you used to like look at my hummus with such contempt.
Yeah, I do the same thing to Kyle. It's not just
Yeah,
you.
I love hummus. I got a caramelized onion hummus right now.
Nope, and
But
I don't like black beans either.
of course you don't, because you don't like the texture of beans.
Nope, no, I do not.
I was thinking about when that time when you and Zach were here and we did chicken nuggets, and so we did regular chicken nuggets for you, and then like the vegan ones for him, and so I had some of each. I actually like the vegan ones better. I don't know what it was, but the problem is they're like way more expensive than just regular chicken.
That's another thing where like, and I prefer like my regular nugs anyway. And even if I was like the taste of the Impossible Nugs and the regular was like on an even field for me, I would just the cheaper one in that case.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's why I try to find the balance of like, well, I can get a huge amount of chicken breast for this price, or just like this much of, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with chicken breast. But yeah, I just don't I don't like it as much. That's why I eat a lot of fish too, because at least I like that better.
Girl,
And you can get frozen like bags of frozen tilapia or whatever.
I should
And
look
I've
into that. I never even thought of that.
For some reason I thought you didn't like fish. Have we ever talked about fish? You
No,
don't.
I don't really like shellfish. I don't
Maybe that's why I had it in my
I
head.
don't like lobster. I
That's maybe
like
why.
crab in some things.
Oh, that's right. You eat sushi. What am I saying?
Yeah, I like crab in some things. I'm pretty ambivalent on shrimp. The taste is fine, the texture is eh.
Yeah. No, you can get like, um,
But no, oh
at,
my god.
yeah,
Like,
at Wegmans they sell these big bags of like frozen various fishes that are individually packaged, and so you can just like toss one in the oven. I just toss them in my air fryer. Actually, takes
nice.
no effort. Yeah.
Actually, I think there's some. Ooh, I've seen stuff like that at Trader Joe's.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thinking
So
thoughts. I might be about to up my lonely woman cooking game, even though I'm not lonely.
plus there is they do like the finishing butters you can get that you just cook the fish and plop a bit of finishing like garlic butter on it, and it's like so little effort, lean protein, excellent.
Thinking thoughts.
Yeah, this has been cooking with.
This, yeah, terrible. Well, no, not terrible, but low
Oh,
effort cooking hour.
yeah, I am the laziest when it comes to feeding myself. Whatever I
No,
can do
same.
that'll.
Oh my god, it's like kind of horrendous. And I
Yeah.
think a huge part of it comes from the fact that I don't have a dishwasher in my apartment.
Yeah.
Like, that makes it infinitely worse. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
no.
pretty much all I've eaten for dinner for the last few weeks is at the beginning of the week I make a bunch of brown rice and I steam up some veggies, and then I make, well, this time it was the pork tenderloin, but usually like chicken breast, and then I just throw it all together into a little container so I have these pre-made meals.
You're
And then I,
doing better than I am.
yeah, it's like a protein veggies and a good grain, the brown rice.
You're
And then
you are doing better than I am.
but it's like the same thing every, the meat changes a little bit, but I cover them all in pink sauce.
Shocker.
I have reached my pinnacle. I went to the store the other day and bought three pink sauce.
Whatever. It's
Two more
fine.
for home and one for the office because I keep going through.
All right. Did you hear about this fucking Stanley Cup thing?
The lead?
Yeah, I
Nope.
think that bubble has officially burst.
Yeah, I didn't actually read about it. I just saw the headline. Like it's a confirmed thing.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna link it.
Yeah.
I know that the pretty cheap like Q-tip lead tests. I know that those are for ceramics specifically, and there is a somewhat high false positive rate. So I
Mhm.
don't think anyone needs to go into panic mode.
Yeah.
However, I think the fact that this is happening at all is going to burst the Stanley Cup bubble.
You have one, don't you, or don't you?
I do, and I've had it
They,
for a while.
oh no.
And I mean, like, if it kills me, it fucking kills me. Like, whatever. That's the thing. Like, I think the Stanley Cup craze is very ridiculous. However, like, aside from this, it's not a bad product. Like,
It's overpriced.
I mean, yeah, it's overpriced, but like, I've had mine for like years.
Yeah.
And like, that's my thing. I have 3 water bottles total. I have this, I have my Stanley Cup, and then I have my older, more dinged up hydro flask that stays at work. And like, I never buy any sort of like plastic water bottles or anything because I have 3 reusable ones. That's literally all I need. So
Yeah.
like, The like buying every Stanley Cup thing is so ridiculous, but like if you buy like one or two, like yeah, kind of expensive, but like reusable products that are gonna last you for like fucking ever.
Wait, people do that? They like collect them?
Girl,
Dude, not chronically online.
I know you're not chronically online, but like I thought that had gotten far enough out of the chronically online bubble. People have walls of Stanley Cups in their house.
What?
It's ridiculous.
That's consumption for the sake of consumption. Kind of
Yes,
gets
yes,
hurt.
precisely. It's like, oh, collect all the colors or whatever. And like, yeah, all right, if it's like Pokemon cards, not like
Yeah,
$60 insulated tumblers.
that's what I feel slightly hypocritical because like, do I really need the various toys and things?
That's my thing.
You know, all the Funkos.
I don't think that like any sort of collection is inherently bad. Like
Yeah,
there are sectors of the internet in particular that will be like, "Oh, like you don't need anything. Like you here's like how to reuse every single thing you come across and never buy anything." And like in my personal opinion, that's no way to live life. If you know, if growing your library and collecting books like is something that like brings you joy and fulfillment, do it.
yeah. Life's short.
Life is short. Have fun. You can have some little toys that you don't necessarily need.
Gotta find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be wasteful and consuming all the time.
Yeah, it is all about balance. I am not here to shame anyone for like collecting things that genuinely give them joy. Like, I have so many little toys that I don't need.
Yeah. But I think this is one of those things where once this craze
Yeah,
passes,
this is ridiculous.
they're not gonna want those. Like, there's eventually gonna come a time where they're like, okay, these aren't trendy anymore,
Yeah, it's
and
gonna
then
be
they
the
try to
Beanie Baby thing.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
No,
So like,
it's
I knew they were super popular because they're like, you know, I teach at a college.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's popular, but the one I have, that's my thing. I think sometimes things get popular because it's a good, it's a pretty decent product to begin with. Like, yeah, I've like put ice in like my Stanley like overnight, and that shit is still fucking crisp. Like 24 plus hours later, like it works well. It's reusable. I have no beef with it.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is like, it's not like it's the only brand that does that. You can
Mm-hmm.
buy lesser known brands that are like a quarter of the price, if that, that are
Yeah,
just as good. That's what
yeah,
annoys me. Like, promoting rampant consumerism
yeah,
for something that they overcharge for just because it was on TikTok by some, some influencer. I believe that's where it came from or something.
yeah. So you not knowing that the Stanley Cup craze has gotten to the point that it is, do you know what water talk is?
No.
Oh my god. I like only sort of peripherally heard about this, but there is this whole side of TikTok, and I'm going to link the video that Curtis Connor made about this because he does an excellent breakdown of just what the hell this even is. But like, okay, you know how they have those little like packets, like little drink mix packets where it's like, oh, if you put it in a water bottle, it's lemonade
Yeah.
or whatever. There is a whole TikTok subculture of like they literally call them recipes for water. And it's not just like, oh, combine like the lemonade and the limeade. That's pretty normal. That probably tastes good. But there are people who are like, oh, here's my recipe for like birthday cake water. It's bizarre. They get like,
That's
it's like Starbucks syrups.
yeah.
I'll send you the video because I need you to see this so that you know that like this is real and I'm not just like making this up. And I think that is
It's not
part.
secular.
No, it's not. And I think the fact that that even existed as a sort of weird TikTok subculture helped influence the current Stanley craze because that's like what people on Water Talk are doing
I just
or like
realized
have been using for a hot minute.
I just realized the talk was as in TikTok. I was hearing it as talk TALK that whole
No,
time.
no, it's
It's
water
water.
talk. Yeah.
People talking about water. I mean, it worked.
Yeah, yeah. But
You know what my favorite flavor of water is?
water.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I understand if you think like you're like I don't feel this way, but like if you prefer to like put a little like to use like oh like the lemonade or whatever, like if that's helping you stay hydrated because you think like regular water like tastes boring or whatever, all right, fine, I get it. Like absolutely no shade, but oh my god, the ridiculousness that I have seen even just like taking a surface glance at this. Unbelievable.
At the same time, they're having a good time and they're not hurting
That's my
anybody.
thing. I am never here to actually like judge anybody.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just so confused.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even describe what the feeling is. Like
That's
I absolutely nothing against people who are doing what makes them happiest. If as
like
long
yeah,
as it's not hurting
whatever,
anybody,
whatever, man.
I'm glad you're having a good time. But I
I do
just
I do so much weird shit.
yeah, right? But it's like I don't understand. I understand,
We've
but
had
I
this
don't.
moment before where we both desperately tried to put words to a vibe, and we're doing it again right now.
Yeah.
Where, like, the only way I can describe what I'm feeling, and this is terrible for audio only listeners, the only way I can describe what I'm feeling is through, like, facial expressions and hand gestures.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I think this will be fun to look back at later with all the various expressions and like
exactly, exactly.
like
Um, I just reminded myself of a meme that I sent you on in our Twitter chat, and I'm gonna see if I can find it because it kind of is in the same vein as desperately trying to put words to a vibe. I'm sending this. I'm
yes.
copying the link to this and sending this to the chat here right now because I want to know what this was for us. And you will understand what that means in just a second.
Although I do want to say while you're doing that like um I lost my train of thought because then I opened it. It was very bright.
I'm so sorry.
That like you said the thing about like people thinking water is boring and wanting like yeah I don't begrudge anybody that either, but at the same time you got to accept that not everything in life is fun. People need to learn
I
to embrace
agree.
the world.
Not everything in life is fun. However, I'm really also not here. Like, again, if you're trying to make every aspect of your life as enjoyable as possible, I'm not going to judge you for it. Yeah, some things suck. If you can make them suck less in any way,
Yeah,
sure.
it just it's just a larger gripe that I have with people who just like anything that isn't the way they want it is bad. And it's like, no, you got to pay taxes. You got to do things that you don't want to do. Like, and I guess this is coming from arguments with students who are just like, I don't really like this assignment.
Yeah, okay, well,
I don't care.
don't care. So this is a tweet from at Zach Silberberg.
It's a fun name.
Um, and it says, every friendship has experienced a night like this. And it's that picture of Leonardo DiCaprio in, I think it's The Wolf of Wall Street, pointing at the TV screen in recognition. But
Mm-hmm.
they have photoshopped in next to Leo, Cillian Murphy in Oppenheimer, sitting naked in a leather armchair and smoking a cigarette. And the caption is, every friendship has experienced a night like this. And we've been friends for years now.
Yes.
What was this for us?
I.
Because there hasn't been a situation where either of us was not wearing any clothes, but I think we can get, like, this is more of a vibe than like someone has to have been naked. You know what I mean?
Hmm. See, I took the vibe as more like the previews on there.
Oh shit!
I just realized that.
I'm also just going to zoom in on this picture
Yeah.
real quick, even though it's kind of low quality, just for the sake of showing people But yeah,
The vibe I got from this, like, I wasn't so focused on Killian's nudity. I was thinking more like they're both looking at the same thing, but in very different ways.
yes.
Like,
There's a
oh, yeah,
like the pointing at it, like there's interest,
yeah,
there's recognition, there's a positivity to it. With
yeah.
this with the shot of Cillian Murphy that they've chosen, there's a resignation. There's
Mm-hmm.
there's something else negative that I'm on the negative side of ambivalent. Like just
Mm-hmm.
negative of scent of zero. You know what I
See,
mean?
I
That's
was thinking
also
more
in
of
his
like
expression.
serious and thoughtful.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. But yeah, what was this? What was this for us? We've been friends for years. I feel
Well,
like this has to have happened.
so that's the reason I bring up like my interpretation of it is because, well, I have a couple of thoughts.
Okay.
One, that night we were watching Mitch Hedberg, and it just made sense to you instead of being
Oh,
funny.
yeah.
So in that scenario, Leo is me and Killian is you,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, that's good. That's really good, actually.
The other one was the first time you ever came here, actually, and we got drunk. You were extra drunk, and we went on a
Yes,
walk
I
at like
was.
2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh, that was me pointing at things and being like enjoying them, and you were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna die out here."
I had to pull you out of the bushes. You were chasing lightning bugs.
Yes, I was.
So in that scenario, you are Leo and I am Killian.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Very accurate. I like it. I feel like there has to be one more though, or like I'm like I'm remembering something, but I can't remember precisely which weekend it was, or like which. Not to say incident. Let's say instance. Although, frankly, has our friendship not just been a series of incidents?
Yeah, yeah, you can put it that way.
I'm trying to think of what this was. That's like that's evoking this in my memory.
I can also say it's us every time we go to a grocery store.
Yes, I am Killian.
We're like, oh, what's that?
Yep. And I mean, no judgment.
Yeah.
What?
The broadest way I look at this is like one person being relatively serious and calm, and the other person being chaos.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if it's gonna come to me. I really don't.
Hmm. No hints.
It's blurry for me.
Okay.
I don't know how much that helps. Probably not a lot.
What does that mean about your maybe your state of mind at the time? But the best times are when we are simultaneously chaotic.
I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
This is really gonna be. Oh my god, it might have been that night I yacked at your apartment.
And then ate a banana.
Yeah! I feel like it's the opposite of what you would think, though, because I was just, like, sitting there just being like. I've like failed as a friend for whatever reason.
You were like, oh, what's the word I'm looking for?
I was just like, oh my god, everything is
Like,
awful, and you're just like, here's a funny story.
well, like, it's kind of like when a dog does something wrong and they know they did a thing wrong and they're just hanging their
Yes.
head. That's what I can't think of the word I'm quite looking for, but
I
that's
know
that was
exactly what you mean. That's exactly what that was, because you were just like, here's something funny. I'm gonna like, because you weren't all there either. You were just like, oh my god, distraction. I'm gonna tell a funny story, and I'm just there like,
when you sat there. And I remember you very quietly saying, "Can I have a banana?" What? Bananas are like the cheapest thing you can still buy, which just blows my mind. You
Whack.
just get like a whole ass bunch of bananas for like $1 or something. Anyway.
What a time to be alive. But yeah,
Yep. I believe I also gave you some ginger ale.
that tracks.
Yeah. Yeah. What story did I tell?
You broke something.
That was it a story of drunkenness?
Yes, you broke
Was it when I
something
broke
in college.
that toilet at the fraternity house?
Yes.
I don't even remember which one it was.
I love that for you.
I still maintain it was pre-broken, and I just because the handle came off when shit, and I was like, there's no way I have that kind of strength. I know I
Yeah,
was super drunk, but
you
and
know.
then I washed my hands with laundry detergent because they didn't have any soap in their bathroom.
Oh my god, I stole I think it was Irish Spring out of a really crusty shower in a frat house bathroom once
Ugh.
to wash my hands. While my RA stood in the corner because she was the one who took me to the frat party. College was fun.
Yeah, I can still see like the disbelief of my friends when they were like, what were you doing down there?" So I'm like, "Well, they didn't have soap, so I wandered around and then I found the washing machine area. And so I just poured like a bunch of Tide on my hands and then I couldn't rinse it off because it was so thick." And they're like, "Just don't wash your hands. You're drunk. Why do you care so much?" Like, no, I will never go to the bathroom without washing my hands. It doesn't matter.
That's
How
so
good
fair.
probably.
Here's the thing. I so agree with you, but I hate the extent to which the still unfortunately ongoing pandemic kind of made me like a germaphobe because like I remember being in my like junior year of college and we would go to a frat party and be in like a disgusting shed playing beer pong and
Okay.
the ball would fall on the floor
Yeah.
and you would just keep
Yep.
playing and it was fine. Nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was always really gross because I remember like looking at a cup of beer and there'd just be like particles in it. Like people say it's wussy, but I think you should put water in the cups and then have your beer separately. So it gets in the cup, you take that cup out and drink the separate beer, you know?
There's something about the grossness of it, though, especially like at a frat. Like that's almost a rite of passage, in my
But
opinion. Here's
yeah,
the thing:
but
if you're a functional adult and you're like playing beer pong at like, I mean, is beer pong all that much of a functional adult thing? But if you're doing the like slightly more mature version where you're like actually playing it at like a friend's house,
Mhm.
maybe with craft beer, um,
Yeah.
then I will allow that. But at a
Yeah.
frat with the shitty keg beer, no. You gotta get a little gross with it. I'm sorry.
As long as you're drunk first.
As long as you're drunk first,
That
you
way
gotta
it's
get a
over.
little, you have to get a little gross with it.
No. I mean, you have to be drunk to be able to do it in the first place because, like, you
Yeah.
don't care as much once you've been drinking for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, I don't know, maybe it's just my experience, but I feel like you grow out of your tolerance for stuff like the grossness of it, you know?
And that probably is true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like if you're at a point in your life where you don't care, honestly, I'm gonna say cherish it.
Yeah.
Cause like I kind of wish I cared less.
Yeah.
Not with like, you know, the current BSL level 3 pathogen circulating, but like just in general.
Yeah. Yeah, no, enjoy not caring as much about
Enjoy
something.
not caring.
Yeah. Yeah, the last time I played beer pong was like 8 years ago. I remember specifically, and I played on a patio at a bar.
We should do that. Why haven't we done that? Not the patio and the bar. Why haven't we played beer pong?
Just in general.
Yeah.
Find like a bar that does it because I feel like you need more people to really like get the atmosphere. But I mean, we could just do it wherever.
I'm down.
I'm actually fairly good at beer pong.
So you've said bitchin' is the word I believe you've used multiple times.
I do love saying bitchin'. I do.
All right. I'm gonna close this out with our final discussion that I have. Let me see. Okay. So if you were a spider, how would you wear your socks? And this is a tweet by @mischief_animals. Pull this up for a closer look. Would you wear all 8 socks matching, opposite feet matching, but otherwise up to 4 distinct pairs, or total sock anarchy.
I feel like there are more options than that. I would like to add an option where all 4 on one side are the same and all 4 on the other side are the same.
That's what Kyle said when I told him that we were doing this question on the podcast. So, yes, we're going to tack that on as, you know what, we're going to move that to C, and then D is going to be total sock anarchy.
Yeah. But, by the way, before I forget, I saw a comment on there that said something about sock. I thought it said something about sock anarchy, and then I was like, oh, they made a typo, and I was like, wait, no, that was intentional. Sock arachne.
Hey.
Good for you, person. Anyway, yeah, I think that should be an option on there.
I think that in general, I would probably go with all 8 matching. Like, if this, it says if you were a spider, not how are spiders supposed to wear socks, because I think just based on my personality, I would probably go with all 8 matching, or if I was trying to do, like, a statement thing, like, you know how sometimes you have your socks showing because it's cool?
Yeah.
Like, I would do, like, all black socks except for 1 pair of feet, probably on opposite sides, that have, like, a black and white checkered sock.
Like an accent.
Yeah, an accent sock. An accent pair of socks.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would go with either, like, all 4 the same on each side.
Yeah, I think that too.
Or maybe just the chaos of it when I'm feeling, you know, like I want to be fun one day. But practically speaking, I feel like it would have to be A, because imagine you have quadruple the number of feet you have right now. The volume of socks you would have to purchase.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you, like, when you're buying, like, cute socks, it's way more expensive to buy separate pairs of cute socks than it is to buy just, like, the big bulk packages of,
100%.
Like, things. So I just think practically, financially, you would have to wear just matching socks.
I would agree. I wonder if... What the fuck is her name in Chainsaw Man? Because she's like a spider, but it's legs.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember offhand.
But yeah, I wonder what she does. I don't remember if she even wears shoes. It's been a really long time since it's been a hot minute since I read the manga, but
I don't think there were anything. I don't think there were.
And actually, speaking of shoes, does the same apply for shoes as a spider? Like, do you have all the same shoe? Do you, like, again, could you have, like, an accent shoe going on?
I think shoes are trickier because you would want them to be all the same, like, height.
Yeah, actually, when you put it like that.
But
what
if
you get all the same brand, like, it's all Vans, it's all the same type of Vans, but instead, you have, like, maybe, like, all black except for, like, a red pair or a purple pair.
Oh,
that's the type of shit I would do.
I would do, like, an option B with that, but different colors of, like, sneaker.
Ooh, okay, I like that.
Sort of like a rainbow of, shoes on each side.
That's fun. You could do you could do a gradient as well. You could do like all around color wheel. Ooh, I think you can get really jiggy with the shoes, in my personal opinion, as long as the heights of the shoes match.
Yeah, which, I mean, they kind of need to be the exact same shoe because there are such slight differences, and I know, I can feel it, like, even when there's a slight difference in, like, the heel height or the width of the sole of the ball of the foot or whatever.
Yeah, okay. So as long as it's all the same shoe, you can have you can do a lot of fun things with color. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, well, I was going to say, like, and it's not like socks where you can buy them in bulk. Maybe you could get a deal with, like, the manufacturer.
Probably. Probably.
And maybe you could even, like, get a job, like, shoe modeling for them and get, like, free shoes. Because it's like, this person loves or this spider loves our shoes.
And they have to buy so many of them. Honestly, I'm very here for it. I think I would have a lot of fun being able to choose that many shoes as a spider. But unless we have anything else to say about that, I think that's going to bring us to the weekly worsening.
Hmm.
I started.
Oh.
I started. I'm reading the Monster Fucker romance.
Uh-huh. The one that Kyle got you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that was what you sent pictures of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's even worse than I thought it was going to be because the sexy scary monster also has a cute human disguise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fucked. I am so much worse and I'm not even that far in, and I know how, like, I know myself, it's gonna get bad.
Hmm. Fun.
Fun for me, not for you, probably.
Well, that's why it is the worsening.
And still on my Animal Crossing bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it, if I'm being completely honest with you. It's been very concentrated in two small areas.
Mm. Yeah,
I know you've been busy. I know classes have
yeah.
begun again. So, like, I understand if you're not,
I'm
if
struggling.
you're slacking.
Well, I think since last week, I think this was since last week, I finished Tokyo Ghoul, and then
Girl.
immediately after I watched the last episode, started it over with subtitles instead of dubbing because there's this weird thing.
Who is she?
Well, there's this weird thing when they do it with the dubbing where if there's like writing on the screen, they don't translate it, and I don't know why. So there was like a lot of stuff I missed out on.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know why, and I was like, wonder if with subtitles they do it, and they do. And so I only watched the first few episodes, and it was like there was a text message that it actually, had the translation for it. And I was like,
That
oh,
explains so much.
yeah. So
Why?
yeah, I don't know why they do it that way. It's like all the shows that I've watched on Crunchyroll are like that.
That's so odd.
Yeah. I
Huh.
did also watch the first couple of episodes of Hunter, Hunter X. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. The
I
Hunter
don't
show.
either.
Well, they put X's between all the words in their episode titles, so that's just their version of a space. So I guess it's Hunter Hunter. I don't know.
Sure, why not?
It looks a bit too like cute for me, so I don't know that I'll actually watch it. But I was curious, you know.
All right.
I tried to find Full Metal Alchemist, but apparently it's not streaming anywhere. The original
Really?
series.
That's so popular.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it's
weird.
People were complaining about it on Reddit when I
Huh.
was trying to. That it used to be on Netflix, but they pulled it. And now it's nowhere.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you absolutely hate to see it.
Yeah, they do have some of the spin-off series like the Brotherhood, Full Metal Alchemist.
But like, what's the point?
Yeah, you got to see the.
You're not just gonna start with a spin-off.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't.
Which is kind of weird because I'm almost running out of like the top anime shows that I really want to watch.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start getting really weird with it.
Yeah, and I'm like I have a list of things, but there's nothing on there that like really jumps out at me anymore at this point because I've so much just churned through.
We'll have to watch like Ouran High School Host Club or something.
Yeah, I mean, I have Crunchyroll, so there's a vast library available.
I dig.
Drop a random obscure thing. Or just start watching Naruto.
Godspeed if you do that.
I don't know if I could do that.
That's a lot.
There have been there have only been 2 shows thus far. 3 that I started watching that I couldn't keep watching. I'm still working on JoJo. That's the 3rd.
Really? I'm surprised you haven't fully written that off or like given up.
I do, and then after a few weeks, I'm like, you know what? I'll try again, and then I quit again. So that's
the thing. I don't think I could ever truly get into it, TM. But God, some of the clips I see are so fucking funny.
That's what makes it hard to watch. Like, there's obviously ridiculous in a fun way, and there's ridiculous in a way that makes it hard to watch, and it's the latter. But Hunter x Hunter, again, I don't think I'm gonna watch Like I just wasn't into it. And the only other one, I don't know why, One Piece. I can't. It was not remotely interesting to me. I don't understand why it's so popular. Maybe I'll
Yeah,
have to try
man.
again.
I'll have to start thinking of things I could recommend you, but honestly, you'd know more than I would.
Oh yeah, I've definitely logged some out. Like I watched all 170 episodes of Black Clover.
Oh, don't fucking bother with Soul Eater.
Hmm.
It sucks. I tried to watch it in high school.
Hmm.
Garbage.
Yeah. No, I watched all of My Hero Academia and Tokyo Ghoul. I watched Demon Slayer twice all the way through.
Have you watched Assassination Classroom?
No.
Look into Assassination Classroom. Look into Sword Art Online, maybe. And maybe. Watch One Punch Man.
I have watched some One Punch Man.
One Punch Man is good.
Yeah, I watched. I can't remember how many episodes. The problem is that one they don't have that one dubbed, and as you know, I can't. I have to be doing something, and it's hard to.
They had it on Netflix for a while.
It's on Netflix. That's where I watched it.
Oh.
But it's only sub.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's why
Well,
I try to watch it, but it depends on how well I can get myself to stay still and actually look at the screen, which is very difficult for me.
also maybe. This is one where I don't know if the designs for the characters are a little bit a tad sexist, maybe as like commentary, or like if it's just people want to see boobies, which like whatever. Maybe at least Google Kill la Kill.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
These are suggestions from someone who frankly knows less than you at this point.
Yeah. At this point, I just wander around cons and be like, "Here's anime I don't recognize. Let me put it on the list." It is educational in nature.
We love to see it. All right. I think that's going to bring us to a close here. As always, thank you for fighting with us, friends. We appreciate each and every single one of you, and we will be back again next week. Adios.
This week's episode of the Fighting with Friends podcast was hosted by Bridget Kelly and Dr. Sarah Brooks. You can find other episodes of the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, or your other favorite listening platform. Follow us on Twitter at brkelly98 and at nsarahsaid. Rate and review us on your podcatcher of choice, like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch and Facebook, and join our Discord community using the links in the description. You can also help support us via the Acast supporter feature, or consider subscribing to our Patreon for early access to episodes and fun bonus content. Thanks for listening!